Tonight, the ballots are in and the votes are still being tallied. It's election night across Central Ohio. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Clay Gordon. Yolanda and Andrew are off tonight. We have team coverage looking at two races in particular. Richard Solomon and Kevin Landers are covering both sides of the 15th District congressional race, while Olivia Eugenio is covering several races for Columbus City Council. First, let's look at the 15th Congressional District race, which is the seat to replace Republican Steve Stivers, and this one has been called. Republican Mike Carey is the winner with 58% of the vote. These are live results coming in as we speak. Let's go right to 10 TV's Kevin Landers. He's our boots on the ground at the Carey watch party tonight in Fairfield County.
Well, good evening. Mike Carey led this race from beginning to end. The 15th congressional seat remains in Republican control. Mike Carey, a person who had never run for public office before, wins tonight, of course, the unofficial victory tonight. Let's go to the video for this evening. Carey called his victory the honor of my life. Carey had to overcome attack ads from his opponent that tied him to HB6 bribery scandal. He promised the crowd he would not be a career politician, saying his wife wouldn't allow it. Carey said what happened tonight was the start of a Republican wave across the country, and he called President Joe Biden's economic recovery plan too expensive.
When people are saying, well, we're not going to do 3.5 trillion in spending, we're going to do 1.7. We're going to do 1.5. Folks, that is too damn high, and we cannot have that in our country.
Now, Carey's unofficial victory means that he will have to turn around and run again. Remember, this was a special election, so he'll have to run again in 2022 to keep his seat. Reporting from Lancaster, Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
Well, yeah, Allison Russo actually came out about 10:30 to speak to her many supporters and voters here. And she says she actually gave Mike Carey a call herself to congratulate him on the win and also offer her support. Now, at the time that the race was called, Russo only had about 44% of the votes, but Russo says she's built for tough fights like this. I did actually get a chance to speak with her one-on-one a few minutes ago, and she says she is pleased and thankful for the endorsement that she received from President Joe Biden just yesterday. But she did not leave the stage tonight without letting her supporters know she's thankful for everyone's support here and at the polls.
I am so proud to continue our fight for paid family leave, for maternal health care, and reproductive justice for all of you who are in this room.
Now, what is next for her? I asked her, and she says right now she's just going to go home and spend time with her family. But for now, reporting live in Columbus, I'm 10 TV's Richard Solomon. Back to you.
Richard, thank you. Now to our other big race we are tracking tonight, Columbus City Council. The Democrats sweeping this one. Here are the current results. The current president of the council, Shannon Hardin, has been re-elected with 29%, followed by newcomer Lourdes Barroso de Padilla with 27%, and a familiar face to Columbus politics, Nick Bankston, at 27%. 10 TV's Olivia Eugenio is covering this race for us tonight.
Yeah, Clay, I'm actually joined by Lourdes, and you gave a very emotional speech here tonight as you are the first Latina to be elected to City Council. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
It feels amazing. I mean, my parents came to this country from Cuba, and after living for years under communist rule, really, they came here for freedom and justice, and for years later to have their daughter become a city council member and really practice democracy it was such an emotional moment for me, for my family, also for our community. My mother's been in this country for 50 years, has never seen anyone who looks like her make decisions on her behalf. And for too many folks, that's a reality for our immigrant, migrant, and refugee community. So this was a win for our collective community this evening, which is why it was so emotional.
And you were joined by your daughters on stage, and what is that like to show that to them?
It's amazing. I mean, I think that, So my parents, I talked about, parents crossing deserts or oceans or whatever to make these sacrifices for your kids. You always want more, and that's true no matter what culture you come from, what country you live in, what neighborhood you live in. And so, for my daughters especially, I want them to know that they can be and do anything that they want. And I think to be an example for them that they can do that is, it's a remarkable blessing as a mom to be able to be that example.
Well, thank you so much for joining me and the 3 seats taken by the 3 Democrats for Columbus City Council. I'm going to toss it back to you.
Olivia, thank you. Taking a look now at issue 7, it was voted down. You can see right there, a landslide, 87% to 13%, 99% of precincts are reporting right now. Afterwards, Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther said why he's happy with this result.
People overwhelmingly came out to vote today to reject this and to say loud and clear, we want basic city services. We want neighborhood safety. We want public health. Those are the things we want our tax dollars spent on, not a scam for 5 people to spend however they want without accountability, oversight, transparency, putting money into their own pockets.
Let's take a look at the PATASKALA police levy. This race, if you've been following all night, was a nail-biter, just separated by just a few votes. But now voters are saying they are against it, 58% to 42%. Here's the results for the Pickerington School Board. Only the top 3 candidates will win this one. Vanessa Nijkamp and J.D. Postage have slightly pulled away, 18% apiece. Clay Lopez is next in line with 16%. Over in Dublin, only the top 3 will win this one, and here they are. Tiffany De Silva is the clear winner, 20%, followed by Lindsay Gillis with 17% and Diana Rigby, 16% respectively. Now let's take a look at some of the national races of interest tonight. Right now, CBS News says the Virginia governor's race will likely be Republican Glenn Youngkin, who would defeat former Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe. But that race has not been called as of yet. In New Jersey, more than 50% of precincts are reporting, and Republican Jack Ciattarelli is leading incumbent Democrat Phil Murphy. And to keep track of every race going on in Central Ohio, just text the word results to the number you see right there on your screen, 614-460-3345, and we will send you a link straight to your cell phone.